Hello and good day. I am so blessed to be able to take this journey with you. So today is Monday, day 11, and this is Nancy Golden. We're taking back Lent together. So let's go ahead and get started. Our lives are incredibly busy. How did we get here? More importantly, how can we be intentional about slowing down? God created the Sabbath because He knew we needed rest. He also desires us to spend time with Him. Lent is a great time to reflect on our busyness and to remind ourselves to slow down. My husband Phil and I took my mother to visit a doctor for a second opinion a few years ago. We didn't see Mom as often as we would have liked since she lived in another city and our schedules were quite full. Mom didn't drive anymore and didn't get out much. Because the distances involved in traveling to her house and taking her to the doctor, which was in a city in the opposite direction, would entail us driving over 100 miles by the time we were done, Phil decided to take the morning off. His plan was to return to work after the doctor's appointment, which would be around mid-afternoon. But something happened along the way. God has a way of reminding us what is really important, doesn't He? Rather than going to the appointment and bringing Mom straight home afterward, after leaving the doctor's office, we decided to take her to a nice restaurant and spend the afternoon over a late, leisurely lunch. We all had a wonderful time with delicious food and great conversation, and it was so lovely to see Mom enjoying herself. After we took Mom home and got her settled back into her cozy house, we got in the car to begin our trek back home. Phil and I spent the drive time going over the day's events. Something that Phil said really stood out to me. He shared with me what had changed his mind about rushing back to work after Mom's appointment. Phil recalled someone he knew who, at church during worship time, would constantly flip the pages forward to the next hymn before the one being sung was finished. Phil said, "It always bothered me that she did that." His point was that we need to experience the hymn we are singing rather than being so task-oriented that we rush forward and look for the next one before we are even finished with the one that we are in. Phil explained that when we were with Mom, he realized that he needed to pause and enjoy the hymn he was in rather than rush forward to the next one. The afternoon with Mom was the opportunity for a beautiful hymn that God provided to be enjoyed. Phil could either ignore the opportunity, missing out on the beauty of enjoying the present moment and spending time with Mom, or he could fully enjoy all of the choruses of the hymn. Ultimately, God was much more pleased with Phil's choice, investing time in my mother, showing her His love by staying and enjoying the entire hymn with her. We can draw a lesson from the time Jesus spent in the wilderness. Slow down. Just as Jesus spent time with His Father, we can do likewise and enjoy the hymn that we are in. And today's activity? If you're like me, your days are filled with tasks to be completed. As soon as I get up in one area, when I get caught up in one area, more things to be done appear on the horizon. It is so easy to get caught up rushing to the next hymn in the hymnal that we don't pause to enjoy the hymn that we are in. Let's stop and ask ourselves, is there a neighbor I need to check on? Is there a friend I have not talked to in a while? Is there someone I have meant to get in touch with that I haven't made time for? When was the last time I went with our teenage son or daughter for a walk in the park, to the library, or a breakfast outing? All of these are hymns that we can immerse ourselves in if we choose. While there is a degree of necessity in doing many tasks, it is how we prioritize our day that allows us to make room for the hymns of life that are truly meaningful. Thank you so much for joining me in this hymn today. It is such a joy to be here with you. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.